All right, welcome back. So yeah, today I'm here with Ricky. We're basically about to be going on a couple calls here. This isn't really training so much, as Ricky's got actually more experience than I do as far as years in the field. So basically just riding along together and just do a couple maintenance and service calls. All right, stay tuned. So how long have you been working with us with Super Cool thus far?
Super Cool, this is my second day officially working with Super Cool,
Okay.
HVAC.
Nice. How are you liking it so far?
So far, it's going according to plan as joining any new group. Where I'm starting to get a feel for what it is that Super Cool HVAC has to offer and what they are expecting of their technicians.
Crazy.
Making me feel comfortable. It's one thing that is happening right now.
Yeah.
And it has been happening since the first day I worked with Super Cool HVAC.
So now what we're doing is just checking the Temp Rise, making sure you're not having, basically you get enough airflow across that heat exchanger.
Okay.
Because when the temperatures, when you don't have enough airflow, essentially the heat exchanger starts to overheat. That can cause heat exchanger to fail prematurely, or just basically the system to cycle out on a high limit fault. So,
okay.
How'd that Temp Rise look?
Temp Rise is going to be out of whack. We got 63.
Okay, so that's above
Most
the,
of them are,
Good or bad?
a little high because it's on the higher end of the range. That's probably, it's probably 40 to 60 degree rise on this thing. Usually Goodman furnace are going to be between,
so 35 to 65. Typically we're supposed to be right around in the middle there.
yeah. So
45, a little high, but still within the range at 63 at top end.
Okay.
But we hadn't checked static yet.
yeah.
Or blower amps. I had to take the door off and get my amp meter on there to do that.
So static pressure is basically you're checking the resistance against that motor, basically the amount of pressure. Because you got a negative pressure on the return side, which is pulling the air back to the furnace,
Okay.
and then the supply side is basically a positive pressure of resistance against the blower. So when you have too high of static pressure, it causes the blower to not move as much airflow. Okay. Or well, how long have you been doing HVAC in general?
HVAC in general, I've been doing it a little over 14 and a half years. Last company I was with, it was kind of short. I took a stint just to get a little bit of income to repay a debt to my father.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a short stay. But prior to that, a company that I was really in bed with was 4 years strong, which falls within the range that I've learned, you know, when I was at college, Athens Technical College, learning about the course in air conditioning technology. Every 3 to 5 years, we typically end up looking for another company to work for.
That's a fact. That is true, though. That could be a reason. If this ductwork is undersized, say, then you're going to have high static pressure, and it's going to cause the system to run hotter than it should.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is just combustion analyzer. We pretty much use this to measure basically the combustion gases and make sure the flame has actually got complete combustion.
Okay.
Because if well, not fully complete, because there's not going to be, I mean, a perfect combustion is not really going to be possible in these conditions, because you're not getting 100% oxygen.
Yeah.
But as close to complete as possible. If it's not complete, then usually it produces high carbon monoxide, which can be pretty hazardous.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what I like to do, what we're going to do here, good thing is we've got access to it right at the outside, and our undiluted CO is almost 200 parts per million, so we're getting kind of in the excessive ranges. Excess air 40%, that's respectable. A little low, but...
Oh, you can check yours from out there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, just don't turn that off while... So let's start on that. So we're looking for oxygen levels to be between
7 and 10%.
Okay.
So it's getting pretty low. We want our CO to stay below 100 parts per million if possible.
Okay.
So far it's looking pretty respectable. And our undiluted CO, we want that we want that below 100. It's at 148 right now, but it's still not too bad. It's still climbing though, so yeah.
So overall, it sounds like it's just not running like especially efficiently.
Yeah, it's over. It could be over firing. As you see, our oxygen is kind of low. It's kind of like a car, you know, and they say it's running too rich or too lean, essentially, with fuel. It's kind of the same premise. So when you're running too rich, you got too much gas and not enough air. Oxygen represents the air.
Okay.
So that's why you got 6.3, which is, it's not low, but you could probably adjust that gas pressure down a bit. So far, it's, like I said, it's not terrible, but it's, I think we could probably get that rectified by just turning the gas pressure down a bit.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and stop that. Feeling pretty good about that.
Okay.
0.63 static.
Total?
Yeah.
What was the return?
Return 4.43.
Okay. Okay. Cool. You said you just replaced the filter about...
Yeah, it should be, well, yeah, it should be this month. But,
Okay.
Alright, what MERV rating, what MERV filter did you use?
it was pretty low because I didn't want it to be like super.
Exactly. Restrictive.
Yeah. I want to say my wife wanted, but I don't think it's. I think it was only. Let me check. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty decent size. Okay, yeah, that's respectable. But yeah, you see that? See how much negative pressure is on that?
Yeah.
That's a visual of static pressure. See how it slaps on there?
Yep.
That's the amount of work. That's the amount of pressure that's working against that motor. The motor's having to work against
And that
that.
makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? Now imagine if I were to take like a solid board and put it there. That would be an amazing amount of static pressure. It'd
Right.
probably be like, you know, a whole pound of static pressure. Who knows? Like whatever that motor can pull. But as far as what you can do, the only thing you could really do is to get a bigger, a larger surface area, meaning a bigger dimension of filter grill with a larger filter, like a 30 by 20 or something. But that's probably, you probably don't want to go that route. Another thing, you can get 2-inch media, okay? 2-inch pleats. So essentially, this is 1 inch. They make it 2-inch deep.
Yep. And I did. So I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did kind of look into like if that was possible to like convert this thing because it's got like a sort of like 1-inch backing.
Yeah.
For the frame, but I didn't know if it was like a good idea. So I'm really curious. Is it possible to do that? Like kind of like convert it to from 1 to 2, and would that help?
You'd have to get another grill that supports the 2.
Okay.
I mean, it could be, if you're pretty handy with, you know, it could be modified. You can bend this back.
Sure.
And then kind of refortify it behind here so that it fits a 2-inch in there. But if you wanted to do it, I guess the right way, you just have to replace this whole assembly with one that can take a 2-inch insert.
Okay, that wouldn't be too bad. I mean,
No, it wouldn't. It's not bad.
It's not bad. I can probably do that. Okay, and that would help though, like with the pressure and everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You definitely do that.
And that's something you'd have to probably order online, like
Okay.
supplyhouse.com type thing. Excuse me?
I said,
So, do you mostly work for small companies or any large outfits you work for, or what's about the range of size or whatever?
Well, typically, I always work with the smaller companies
Nice.
in hopes that I can stay grounded in residential equipment,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
or at least nothing over 5 tons. Not that I'm not, licensed to work on universal or commercial. It's that my comfort zone is residential.
I hear that. Same here. Definitely.
I wanted to acquire the skill that would help me as a homeowner if I were ever blessed to get into a home. not to say that commercial individuals don't need technicians, and I did not get into the industry even considering doing that.
I see. Yeah, I hear you. That's the truth. That's the same. Pretty much what got me into this as well. Needing the you call it the necessity to work on my own personal equipment and not wanting to hire subs to do stuff around the house, electrical and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty good driving force, I'd say.
Is they've got where you can actually have it at the unit.
Okay.
Let's see if we have any. Well, see, there's no plenum there, so they've got just a hard 90 going directly into the unit. So it's just too tight. They have filter slots, so they call it media cabinet, where it's actually right at the unit, and it's like you can use a 4-inch media, and that's even better. Yeah. Because imagine 4 inches. It's basically creating more surface area because those pleats, how they have the ridges.
Yeah.
You get, if it's 4 inches deep, if you pull that out like an accordion, it's going to be a lot more filter media that the air is traveling through. So essentially, and I think they even do where you can actually get the 4-inch inserts for the indoor, like the one mounted on your wall as well. So,
I'll definitely look into that and get like if not like a larger one, definitely get a 2 for that.
Yeah. I think the 2 will do just fine. But you got to also consider, this is heating mode, so cooling mode is going to have a lot more airflow essentially. So the fan speed is going to be ramped up in cooling mode, so the static pressure is going to be higher. So you're probably going to be running about a 0.8 in cooling mode, more than likely.
Which is kind of not awesome. That's kind of outside the range.
Just a little bit outside.
Okay.
With this being a,
I think it's that old. Like I think it's like a 2017.
Okay. What's that, a capacitor on that thing, permanent split? Yeah. So with that being a permanent split capacitor, you don't have to worry too much with the blower motor essentially burning out per se due to high static pressure, but it is causing less capacity. It's not moving because basically your tonnage, your heating or cooling capacity is going to be pretty much riding on the back of the airflow. So if you don't have enough airflow to get that heat back into the envelope into the house, then essentially it's you're just not going to be as efficient.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we can definitely kind of modify that and get that straightened out. And
nice. Oh yeah, that'll definitely help a whole lot.
Getting to look at what type of capacitor that is. That's what's difficult right now.
Oh, you got to try to you need like an angle.
Yeah, I think, well, even if I had the inspection mirror, I don't even know if I'd be able to look at it. Let you get a closer look. See if anything you notice.
Yeah, I'll put like is the power off to it? I'm going to go ahead and...
The door is off, so the interlock switch is open.
Nice. So basically, I'll just use this here angle, and there should be one screw holding it in.
Right there at the front of that capacitor terminal.
Yeah.
Hey, that could be a 12.5 microfarad. That's possibly bad.
Okay. Oh, that's got 2 screws. That gone.
That shouldn't even be running. Or killing the compressor.
So yeah, this is basically a capacitor. So this is pretty much what's causing that motor to have a starting torque. Okay. So this is a consumable item. It's basically, I mean, I guess kind of like it holds a capacitance. It's almost like a battery holds a charge. So essentially, as these get weaker, it's still running, but as it gets weaker, the manufacturer says plus or minus 5%. This thing's probably time to get replaced at that point. So it's below 5% of its rating at 10.8, and like I said, you can keep it in there and keep it running. But if it fails within the circuit, then it could potentially burn the internal windings in the motor. Yeah, I mean, then you're replacing a motor at that point. And usually it's not It doesn't usually do it, but it will basically cause damage, bare minimum.
Sure.
So it's that's definitely something look into.
Okay.
Probably have that replaced if you. It's I believe it's $190 to replace that if you were interested. But like I said, it's still running as of right now. But
Is this something you guys can do today, or would that be like a?
yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we keep these in stock definitely.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be awesome if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely, no problem. And they make it run a little bit more efficient as well. Just basically help it to have better turning torque. Okay, maybe I'll go grab that cap then. All right.
I was good. And like these bats are,
That's the normal wear and tear. Typically find that they'll fail within 5 to 7 years.
okay. On time because
Yeah.
this thing or going on 7.
Yeah, it's definitely a consumable part, so it's you know, not out of the ordinary. That's why we keep them in stock.
Right.
It's pretty,
Yeah.
you
That
know.
makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Whew, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, my mom telling her her heat pump went out, and like the cost to replace it was just
Oh,
mind-blowing.
yeah, they're not cheap, man. This stuff is good.
They have a pretty big house, and I guess they need like a 4-ton.
Oh, that's why, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and I think I sent you guys a message like the same day. I was like, I need to get like, better about this.
Yeah.
Just like, let's not let this happen.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know.
What do they say? Ounce of prevention is a pound of cure, man. You want that preventative maintenance is, you know, people underestimate it, but you know.
I'm like semi-handy. I mean,
Yeah.
you could look around and see how not handy I am, but like,
No.
I have no idea what I'm looking at when it comes to like the HVAC stuff. I've shocked myself enough times to know that I'm not an electrician. So it's like I know when I need help. I just
Yeah, that's for real. Yes.
I know you were mentioning how you were working like 60-hour weeks consecutively.
Ooh, 90 and 80.
Oh, dude.
Yes. I was lucky enough to get with a company where the owner was like, I'm going to work, I'm going to work you.
Oh,
I'm going to work you. And, I've always been able to call the bluff on a lot of companies because overtime pay with the hourly that I've been able to achieve, it's a good bit of money.
Yeah.
And so, usually, they've topped out at about 50 hours. Many companies are like, that's enough work for me.
So you actually put them to the test.
Well, yes, I took them up on it. Work me, all right, just to see how much I could do.
Yeah.
And, I had been, learning about supplements and body building and eating right. So I had got myself in a shape that allowed me to do it.
Yeah.
And,
So the question is, who wound up tapping first in that situation? The company or you? Who was the...
We tapped at the same time because right after the hour started cutting down, my body was like, yeah, you couldn't do that.
So you pretty much pulled up the whole summer working 70, 80 hours, huh?
Yeah, it was fueled by the whole concept of air conditioning, though, where, get it while you can.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Feast and famine, yes.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so that's what made me do it, and I think that's why it was available to me.
Yeah, if they give you the option, may as well max it out. I'll tell you what, though, I mean, you're a perfect fit because once the summer kicks in, you'll be having some overtime, man. I'm sure of that.
Another thing I was noticing as well, where I was saying like how, you see how they've got the flex connected directly to the top,
yeah.
and then it's kind of, I guess you could say it's, well, either way, there should be a box connected. There should be a box connected to this coil here. This should have a big metal box, and the flex should connect to that box. That box is called a plenum. Same down here with the return. So yeah, there was a lot more discussed in this video that wasn't captured. I didn't record because for whatever reason, it's probably before I started recording. But as you can see here, they got the flex line running through the cabinet. I mentioned that to them. There's also a trap that you can't see on this shot, but the trap is not installed properly. The sediment trap for the gas line is classic. Improper orientation of the sediment trap. So yeah, I mean, there was just so much to mention with this install, but I didn't want to just shotgun a bunch of issues at the customer and overwhelm them. So I was just telling them, you know, little by little. But there's no plenum connected to it,
Right.
and that's another reason why your static pressure is higher than it should be, and why your airflow is probably going to be a bit worse than it should be.
I do get that it's tight. Like,
Yeah, it is tight. They tried to work what they could, because essentially, is it even possible? The question is. I mean, because you got the flue pipe there, you need enough pitch on that to pitch back. I guess a small plenum could work, but either way, it's probably not worth going down that road at this point.
that's fair. Yeah.
I mean, but if you wanted to, we could definitely get a plenum on there and try to help it with airflow and the static pressures.
Okay.
But it's,
I think I can definitely get the inside kind of like adjusted and modified.
Yeah.
We'll see how that does.
absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, as far as the filter,
Mhm.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
The airflow, and then like, yeah, just like I just remember like opening this up like after we like, you know, moved in and everything, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is a lot.
Huh. Yeah, it's interesting.
Like, I bought this. Why did I do that?
And you've got an attic access, you said? It's open? You
Yeah,
like it?
we
Okay,
do, yeah.
cool.
And I crawled on there way more than I want to. Taking like bathroom exhaust fans and all that kind of stuff. Traumatizing. Terrible.
How's the insulation up there?
Thick. There's a lot of
Oh,
it's
good.
and it's so much.
That's good. Guess it's never too much. You can never have too much insulation.
That was their philosophy for sure. They do that as much as they can fit. It is a lot.
Nice. Checking our amp draw here now, making sure that blower is not overamping or essentially underamping. I mean, more than likely with the static pressure being so high, it's probably going to have a lower amp draw than what would be rated, but we'll see. Oh, cool. That's got an app for it?
Yes, but it's not communicating. That's my only issue.
Uh-oh. Oh, whoops.
So it's connected, but it's not showing my amp draw.
Oh, dang it. Oh, it's jackpot. Oh, that's millivolts. Oh, you can even select your stuff from the app. That's a good meter then. I know the field piece, you got to select it from the meter and it'll show up in the app. Are you on the right?
I'm at another
Let's take a look.
250 then.
Man.
I gotta replace it.
Bluetooth amps. That sucks.
See what I mean? They get expensive. I get the best stuff and
True.
every now and then it just dies.
Does it have a warranty?
This looks like it might be beyond that. That thing looks like it's at least 10 years old.
It's not that old. It's only, what, Sky 2022, so
Dang,
2 years old.
crazy.
Alright.
No worries. Because basically, all we have to do is Alright, so 5.6 minus the so about 3.5 amps, 2.2 there. Okay, just gotta let that thing start. So this is the window here in question. Just make sure we're not getting any even might even be a good idea to see if it's
Open it up a bit, These windows are ancient.
So that's pretty respectable. There's no, well, like I said, these conditions can change, you know. So if it gets too much of a, if the house gets too much of a negative pressure, it could basically pull all those gases right in. So.
Yeah, like that's replacing these, like all the windows. And
Yeah.
Top of the priority list for sure.
Absolutely.
That would not be awesome. We do have this thing, which I think.
Nice.
So you like it, I wonder if it works. It has literally never changed.
Yeah, that's basically, I mean, those are good, but you still probably want to get a low-level CO detector because those essentially are designed to, if it gets above probably like 70 parts per million for 8 hours or something like that. So it's one of those things where, yeah, it could be running CO at 20 parts per million consistently and it never go off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 20 parts per million is still,
harmful.
yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. You can definitely, yeah, we can definitely look into doing this. Make like a note.
Yeah, so far everything's looking good. Not getting any readings.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and recapture this combustion analysis because basically I reset it without. Might need to turn that gas pressure down. Was it 3.6 for the gas pressure?
3.49.
Damn.
6 input.
Because our O2 is looking pretty, kind of low. I'm gonna let this run for a little bit longer. Yeah, I probably would, yeah. Yeah, let's turn the manifold pressure down. Try 3.2. Just put it at 3.2. Yeah. Yeah, we got 35% excess air. That's pretty low. %. We're about to check it again here after we adjust the gas pressure down to 3.2. Let's look at our undiluted CO and excess air. Those are going to be the two probably most important measurements at this point. Nice. Beautiful. %, oxygen. We're right on the money. $112 undiluted. That's not bad. 60% CO. Perfect. Or 60 parts per million. Excess air, 68%. Beautiful. That's perfect.
Is you satisfied?
What's that?
Is you satisfied?
Oh yeah, that's beautiful, man. I got it right. Everything's right in range now.
Perfect.
Just quick adjustment.
Awesome. It sounds like it made a world of difference.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
sounds like
absolutely.
everything's like kind of in range or like very close.
Exactly. So essentially, as you see before, it was adjusted. Our undiluted CO is 171 parts per million. Remember, I said you always want to keep that below, around 100, below if possible, but a little above 100 is not the end of the world for undiluted. And our CO is 123. And then after we made the adjustment, CO is 63 parts per million, and the undiluted CO was 100 and undiluted CO is going to be 108 parts per million.
Okay. So that is
So
like
it's almost half our CO output.
that's
So,
tremendous difference.
and that's pretty much an indication of how efficient or how much, how complete the combustion is. So how well the gas and the air are mixing to
Right.
create that combustion and the flame, essentially.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, seriously appreciate it.
Awesome, man.
Lowering that's going to lower the heat rise. Which
Yeah.
is gonna extend the life of that heat exchanger.
Because everything. Yeah, that's a perfect. I didn't think of that just then.
So we're probably closer to that 40, 50 range instead of that 65, which was on the top end.
Yep.
That's ideal outcome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Not to mention replacing that capacitor on the blower. That's going to give the fan a little bit more speed as well. So.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we should be. Everything's working beautiful now. Like I said, the only thing we probably want to address is that trap, because that trap not being properly orientated. I mean, it's probably been like that long enough to the point where if it were going to do any issues, it's probably already done it. But that sometimes as that sediment gets past it, that gas valve it can make that gas valve fail prematurely by sediment getting up in there and building up in the diaphragm and things like that. So it's
like kind of address that and like flexing pipe going outside.
exactly. Those are the only two things I'd probably rush to get to. But other than that, looks good, man. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem. Anytime, definitely.